episode of Right. And today we're going to interview author Tom Frye for his book, Here There Be Dragons, because we're going to get deeper into the weeds with this to understand how the magic unites the whole picture. So, hello, Tom. How you doing?
Good, Rick. Good. I'm ready to
Good.
roll.
All right. All right. Who is Ton, the guy who dispenses tracks to the Shadow Realm, and what exactly is the Shadow Realm?
Well, before Valasar was even created, there was a star that fell from the sky, and 7 magical beings were attached to this star. It was called the Sky Stone, and it had all kinds of magical powers and elements. And these 7 guardians came here, and they were to be advisors, guardians of wisdom. They weren't to be warriors or anything like that.
Right.
But yet they provided these stones that created a sword for the king, for the High King, and they're kind of like angels, not allowed to fight in the battle between good and bad, and light and darkness, and they play a big part later in the book. But Ton is the king of them. He's a lion-shaped creature who changes into a winged lion who can fly, and then he turns back into a man-like being, and huge bulging muscles, and he comes along to save the day, and then where the at the lodge where Lucas is at the lodge.
Right.
And Valasar, or the Shadow Realm, is kind of like hell, dark, kind of like Mordor.
But the Shadow Realm is kind of like hell, you're saying, right?
Yeah, it's where all the demons and dark princes and dark beings and
Okay.
the Shadow Princes come from. It's I don't really ever take my characters there, but
Is
it's
that
just,
the Shadow Realm?
yeah, it's kind of like
Okay.
Mordor, where the darkness thrives and makes its plans and plots.
Is there a light realm?
Yeah. Well, the light realm is this realm here, Valasar. That's
Okay.
the
Okay.
servants of light are trying to overcome the darkness. Um, yeah.
Now,
So
what is the Shaken Advocate?
the Chaikin advocate is Alex, the gypsy boy, who comes to the realm later after Lucas does, and he finds out that he's to be an advocate for the little folk. The High King, I
Now, by
don't
the little folk, do you mean elves?
no, the Chaikin, they're a race of itself. They're
Okay.
elves, they're elf and dwarf both. They're both races. Um, They come from the marriage of a dwarven king and an elven queen, and so Alex is to be their advocate. He's to defend them because later on in the book, later on I can't give too much away, but magic is banned, and
Okay. Now,
and
how
the chip
tall is Alex?
Alex is about 5 feet tall. The
Okay.
jewel folk are about 3 feet tall. They're little ones. They're like
The
hobbits.
jewel folk, in other words, right?
Yeah, that's who the Chaikin are. And when magic is banned, Alex has to be their advocate and stick up for them and try to defend them against a king who's kind of gone off the rails. And so yeah, that's why he's called the advocate, the Chaikin
Okay.
advocate.
All right. What is the strange green mist that drifts out between the fingers of the lion man's hand, and what does it do?
It's a healing power. All green in most books uh, relate to healing. The forest green, the power from the power to heal is a green power. Um, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's purple, but in this case with the lion, it's a green mist.
Okay. Okay. Now, what was the white wolf's reaction to the lion man?
Oh, they're in reverence to him. they think he's you know, part of the Godhead in the book, part of the spiritual guardian, and so they're.
Did the white wolves actually regard him as a godhead?
Oh yeah, you know, they're not against him at all. They're all on his side. That's, I mean, that's the whole point of that whole part of that book, is that
Right.
the wolves show reverence to him.
So, who is Drakvoren?
Drakvorn is the worst dragon in the whole continent and the whole realm. He's a evil being. He's been around for thousands of years, and he has his castle up in a, or his den up in a mountain. It's a mountain lair. It's an old stronghold he took over, and he just wrecks havoc all over the place. And he's not
Well,
on
are there
anyone's.
good dragons as well as evil dragons?
Oh yeah, yeah. His daughter Lindria is good. She's a very pure dragon, and she is in contention with him all the time, and she doesn't care for him in the way, you know,
Okay.
he's not good. He's not on anyone's side. He doesn't take a side. He's just bad.
Okay. All right. Now, what do you mean by the saying that the Drak is dawn here because of him? He radiates turmoil, rage, and distress. He's a walking wound that desperately needs healing. Now, what exactly does that mean? And what does it mean when you say the black-haired Chicken moved to Lucas, retrieving both of his jewel braids? Sorry, lad, no offense, but you cannot stay. Are the two linked?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Lucas is so filled with rage and so filled with anger, and has such a problem with his rage that he just expresses, that he draws demons to him. He draws dark beings to him. He draws Drac to him. His rage is like a magnet,
So he
and
draws Drak to him?
yep, yep. And then that's why the Drac has come there, because he's curious what this anger is, and this red rage that he sees, because Lucas has an aura around him that people can see, and the chicken realizes that he's not to stay in the realm. If he does, he endangers himself, and that's what he'd been told in the beginning by Reason, and why he doesn't want to have him test play the game, because of his anger, and he knows that he'll be in
Okay.
danger if he comes to the realm. So that's what that whole part is about.
That's why he can't stay, because he'll injure himself. Because
Right,
he
right.
draws the dark beings to him, right?
Right, and later in the book, I deal with that anger, and I won't tell you how it's taken care of, but it is slowly healed. Eventually, he comes out of it and learns to manage it. Um, and so, but it takes time, because
Right, right.
he backslides constantly, and
Imagine. Now,
I
what
don't
is the
know.
realm of Valasar? I'm not
You
clear on
know,
that.
in the beginning, it was called the Isle of the Seven Oaks.
What was that
So
called? The Isle of the Seven Oaks?
yeah, the Isle of the Seven Oaks, and I drew it as a map a long time ago. I then found a bunch of Tolkien Lord of the Rings playing cards, and it had geography on it. It had mountains and forests and lakes, and so I patched it all together, and I made a map out of Valasar
Oh,
using
really?
that.
Really?
Yeah, and it's hanging on my wall right now. It's a very cool rendition. But I finally had an artist do the map, and I include that in every book. Balasar's in there, so you see where all the places are, the kingdoms.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
That's very handy, actually.
yeah, yeah. It's the realm of Balasar. It's where the dragon room leads to, and
Now, is it an alternate universe or alternate reality?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Now, who is Boone Nelson?
Well, Boone Nelson played a big part in scratching on the eight ball. He's the older brother of Reason, and he has his hands full because they lost their dad early on, and so he and his mother are dealing with Reason's severe anger problems. And Boone is he's into the MMA. He's a martial artist, and he goes on the fight circuit and stuff. But he uses a lot of his holds and his martial arts moves to restrain Reason when Reason blows up. And so in the beginning of the book, Boone plays a father role, a big brother role, and he's drug free. He thinks the Nelson house is a drug free zone, and he makes sure that anytime Reason has dope, he takes it away from him and confiscates it, you know.
All right. Well, a follow up on that question. Why do you say that as Boone looked into Billy's ocean blue eyes, he detected a dangerous rage roiling beneath the surface of his regal looking exterior? Now, why did Billy have a rage problem?
Billy's got
or is he under control?
Well, yeah, he's got a dual personality. He came from Ireland. He was a gun runner. He sent them money. He dealt with drug dealers. He lost his wife to a IRA plot, and she was killed in a car wreck. And he's never been quite settled with that. He's cantankerous.
Right.
Every interaction between he and Reason is almost a rage fest in itself because they don't quite get along.
Because of mutual rage considerations between Billy and Reason?
Yep. And so that's why Boone, he looks into his eyes and he sees this slow rage that's there simmering, and he later refers to him as kind of a Lion King in his own realm. Yeah, you don't mess with Billy. That's the thing.
All right. Explain, if you will, what the strange blue key was in Reason's jacket pocket.
Well, when I first started writing 8-Ball.
And what's it unlocked, by the way?
Yeah, when I first started writing 8-Ball, there was a gal who contacted me and she says, I know the people who killed her. And I says, really? She goes, yeah. I wrote their names down and I put it in a safe deposit box. I gave my friend the key. And if anything ever happens to me, she's turned that key into the police. Well,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that was just a rumor. I think it was just it floated around. She did have somebody approach her house one night, and they had marks in the snow from where their boots were, and she was scared to death these people were after her. So I don't know if it had any legitimacy to it, but it gave me the idea for the safe deposit box. The Reason grabs the wrong jacket at this party when it gets busted by the cops. He grabs a drug dealer's coat instead of his own black leather jacket, and in the coat is the key. And that key leads to a safe deposit box, which has the evidence of this narc who was killed. So everybody's after Reason after this party because they know he took that coat.
Okay.
And that key leads to that safe deposit box, and like I say, there's drug dealers after him, there's thugs after him, there's a private detective after him because they know he holds the key to revealing who killed that narc.
Okay. Now explain, if you would, who's Jesse Dalton and what is his relation to Reason?
Well, when I first wrote Wings Like Eagles, I had two brothers in the book, and the one was one was real volatile, the older brother, and the younger brother was more sensitive, and so they played off each other. And so when I rewrote the whole Havelock series, I included those two brothers, and one was Rain Nelson, who comes out to be Reason's dad.
Okay.
And the other is Jesse Dalton. They had different mothers, and same father.
They had different mothers, right?
Yeah, same father.
Okay.
Chase Nelson, who's a real badass biker, who ran the Outlaws motorcycle club.
Right.
And Jesse Dalton is the younger brother who all the time uses sense and common sense and he becomes a private investigator, and he tries to help Reason and tries to convince him to give him that key because he's in such danger for having the key. And so Jesse tries to play a big part in Reason's life, and Reason doesn't have nothing to do with him.
Ah, okay, okay. So they're at odds.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Now,
Reason cons everybody, and he's good at it, and he's got a disarming smile and a charm, and he leads he leads Jesse on a cat and mouse game of hide and seek with that key.
all right. Now, explain what you mean by the oppositional defiance disorder, because I'm a little
Well,
vague on that.
yeah, when I first started, it was ADHD, attention deficit disorder, and
Right?
there was depression. There was this anger, and then somebody finally named it oppositional defiance disorder, and it really nailed it because that's exactly what some of these kids have.
Now,
They
if a kid has ADHD, is he by default supposed to be defiant,
no,
or
no,
was the defiance disorder a separate category?
separate category, because you can have ADHD and just be the most mellow kid there is. You just don't pay attention. You just can't grasp what's
Right.
being, I've got it now. I try to watch tutorials. I get lost about 10 minutes into them because I don't hyper focus unless I'm on a story, and then I hyper focus and I turn around. But no, I think defiance disorder is a complete different category. And kids that have that, oh my gosh, they're in turmoil all the time, and they snap at the drop of a hat, and they oppose. You tell them yes, they say no. You say no, they say yes. You tell them the color of the sky, they say it's something else. It's just in their nature to be oppositional and defy, and some of that defiance comes out in violence. Sometimes they get this rage going, and that's kind of why I'm dealing with that with Lucas.
With Lucas and with
Yeah.
Reason?
Now, Reason comes out of it. Reason starts to, get it together, and then he becomes a youth worker later. He understands Lucas because he's had it. He's been there.
Okay. Who is Rose, and what exactly did she have to say to Reason?
Rose is kind of a gypsy chick. She kind of a flower child. She
All
probably
right.
went to Woodstock when she was a kid,
All right.
but she is um dark-haired, gypsy-looking lady, and she runs her own drug program for the Catholic Church in Havelock, St.
Oh,
Patrick's
wow.
Church. And so it's ironic that her youngest son is addicted, and she tries her best to get him off of drugs. She had an interaction with the narc who was killed early on, and
Oh,
she
wow.
got her off of drugs and got her into a program, and that's why she became a narc, so she could redeem herself.
Okay. Okay.
And Rose always feels guilty about that because she feels that she got her involved in the war against drugs and narking on people. And yeah, Rose is trying to, she's a mother who just struggles with Reason because she just doesn't understand him. She has trouble with him taking meds. She has trouble with them using him as a guinea pig. Because a lot of the doctors, it's a guessing game with them sometimes to give kids meds, because sometimes meds have a paradoxical effect. They work the opposite of what
They
they
have the opposite effect of what's intended, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so Rose deals with all that, and Boone helps her, of course. Boone and Rose kind of tag team Reason, and Reason's a handful when he's a kid.
All right. Now, who were the four boyhood friends who were meeting with William Connors, and what was their purpose at being at the Emerald?
Well, see, when I first wrote Eight Ball, I included a bunch of real people from Havelock, a bunch of the kids that I'd worked with. some of the tough guys, and they come along to help Reason when he gets accused of being a narc, and he gets knifed by a guy, he gets his cheek cut, and they're Boone's four good friends, and they join him in getting revenge on this guy that cut Reason. Well,
Oh.
I worked with a bunch of four guys down here who were boxers, and Doug the Kid Kaluza, he had a left hand that came out of nowhere, and he won. He won so many fights by knockout. Tony Tiger Menifee was on TV, fought Camacho, went 3 rounds with Camacho on televised TV.
Right.
He's just a Havelock boy. And then the Mendoza brothers. They were 2 Spanish brothers who they fought in the Golden Gloves out here at the State Fair and won a bunch of matches. So I included them as 4 of Boone's MMA friends who helped Billy Connors and become like his kind of like his bodyguards. And
oh wow.
Yeah. So my dog. Okay. So yeah, Doug and Tony and the two Mendoza brothers, they don't play a big part, but they play the heavy part.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a really sad story. My friend Jack went to one of Doug's fights, Doug the Kid, and he fought a guy that's up here from Kansas, and Doug broke his fist on the guy's face, and they had to stop the fight. The fight went to the guy. The win went to the guy from Kansas that was up here. And Jack said he walked out of the auditorium, and the guy was standing all by himself, holding the trophy, no girlfriend, no friends. And Jack walked up to him and he says, "You did a hell of a job tonight." And he said the guy just started crying. And
really?
Yeah, and he said it was just. He just said that it just struck him that lions and elephants. There's always going to be a king of the herd until somebody else takes over.
All right. Why did Tiger hand 2 ornate keys, and who was the man he was handing them to?
To Boone. It's to Boone. He
handed them to Boone, right?
Yeah. He becomes.
And what were the 2 ornate keys?
Well, they're to the Dragon Room. They're to the room that has the alternative realm. Boone becomes the owner of the Emerald. Billy arranged it that he was going to, deed the place to his grandson, and that's Boone. Right. So that's who Tony's handing the keys to.
So the 2 keys were keys to the Dragon Realm.
Well, the one is the key to the Dragon Room. The other is the key to the Emerald itself to get into that place.
Oh, okay. So yeah. The one key though is to the Dragon Room, right?
Yes.
All right. So anyway, all right. We'll leave it there for today's interview. But next week we'll continue with the book Here There Be Dragons by author Tom Frye. And until next time, Tom, I wish you a good day, right?
Oh, thanks, Rick. It was great. It was fun.
All right. I appreciated it. Bye-bye.
Bye.